What's poppin', y'all? It kind of hurts me to talk about this because for those of you that may not be familiar, I feel like most people on this channel have known me for a while, at least probably a couple of years, I love A$AP Rocky's music. One of my favorite artists ever. If you were to tell me who's your favorite artist that blew up after 2010, A$AP Rocky would probably be up there. Maybe 100% top 3, quite possibly top 1. I'd have to really sit down and think about it, but yeah, for sure. Right time in my life, his music came out, really resonated with it. The guy's just cool. He's cool, makes great music. I don't believe he's missed when it comes to albums. Some people believe Testing was a bit of a miss, but other than that, the guy went on a 3-peat. Live, Love, A$AP, Long Live A$AP, and then At Long Last A$AP, constantly reinventing himself musically and having generational defining songs. Like songs that people just know off rip. But as of late, we haven't heard too much from A$AP Rocky from a music frontier, right? The more we've heard about him is him building a family with none other than Rihanna. So dating a superstar is difficult when you're trying to run your own career. And I don't know if A$AP Rocky's been trying to do that too much. Like, he's very successful in all terms. Even if A$AP Rocky weren't to drop music anymore, he's successful. But it pales in comparison to the magnitude of Rihanna's fame. She's kind of very normie famous. And the problem is when you're a rapper like A$AP Rocky that we look at as cool, we're looking at him like, dog. And this is the sentiment that I've had. And keep in mind, I should be biased, right? Because I like A$AP Rocky's music. The guy seems like a cool dude as well. I just see him as a sidekick. Like, let me just play this recent video clip for you guys. It'll be on screen. I can't play the music. It's a Glorilla song. But every time we've seen him and Rihanna, he just looks like a side character. You know how Paris Hilton and I think it was Nicole Richie, that Paris Hilton era where they would just walk around with a chihuahua or just a really tiny dog, a toy dog in their purse. It was just an accessory. That's what A$AP Rocky feels like for Rihanna. And sure, yeah, he should support her, but in what case do we see where Rihanna's kind of fanned out? Like, we look at it, the way I look at it is Rocky's fanned out. And there were certain reports and pages that were posting like, oh yeah, Rihanna's out with her man or her beau or whatever, or Rihanna's significant other, whatever they want to call it, because I don't think they're married. But he's had multiple kids. He hasn't dropped he hasn't dropped an album in 6 years. When was Testing? I think was 2018. 6 years. However, we got to give Rocky credit, right? Like I said, I enjoyed Testing. But 6 years, you know how people always pull up monthly listeners numbers and they're saying, well, his monthly listeners just beat out this other guy because this other guy hasn't dropped in forever. Well, A$AP Rocky hasn't dropped in 6 years. 6 years, album-wise. And he's got 37 million monthly listeners. So that just goes to show this guy's got songs that people just keep coming back to, keep listening to. And I remember, like, Sundress, I'm so happy that song is doing really, really well. It's like over 600 million streams. I remember when that song first came out, I was like, man, this guy got another one. And praise the Lord. I didn't think that would become his biggest song, even though, I love the song. But a lot of these other songs didn't come out in the streaming era, and that one did. So we don't know how much those other songs actually sold. But when it comes to an album being dropped, A$AP Rocky's last song that he dropped was with Pharrell. The song, I think it was Riot, a year ago. And he announced during Fashion Week that this album would be dropping August 30th. And it feels like nobody's really talking about it, which I wouldn't say bothers me, but I think it shows you the state of A$AP Rocky, is that this guy has an amazing hit rate with albums. He is an album artist, not a singles artist. Sure, certain singles are born from the albums, but specifically an albums artist. He has at least 2, if not 3 albums that people love. Well, I would say most 3. Testing, people are iffy about, but people have hits that they love off of Testing. So why isn't he being talked about more? Why isn't his project being talked about more? And he doesn't really need a rollout for it because his name is still popular. So the fact that he's dating Rihanna, that should help him, right? Well, it doesn't. And this is something that I've noticed. Rarely does it ever help the male in this case, to be dating someone far more popular than him than it does vice versa, right? Like Coi Leray was dating Trippie Redd. That benefited her a lot. I would say maybe the Megan Thee Stallion situation when she was with Moneybagg Yo. Did that help Moneybagg Yo? I don't know. I wasn't following him too closely at the time. He already had a strong fan base back then. But who else? Like Rocky, it seems like he's getting talked about less now, musically, and what he's done and his achievements. And people will give him props to be like, yeah, he bagged Rihanna, this and that. Like, dog, this guy still has 37 million monthly listeners. He has multiple, I believe to be, classic albums. And they just talk about him like, yeah, he got Rihanna. Like, what? That's not good. Like, yeah, him getting Rihanna should be like an afterthought compared to his actual tangible achievements. And this is where I think the lack of anticipation comes from, which I even feel it. Like, when Rocky's talking about an album, I'm like, I don't know what to expect. Because the Riot song was good, the one with Pharrell. I enjoyed that. But I have no idea what could come from a Rocky album. And I'm not as excited for it as I would have been in 2019 or 2020. Like, I need a rollout of Rocky being the main character. Like, we need Rocky moments. Right now, it just looks like he's a stay-at-home husband. That's what it feels like. Like, sure, he comes around, but it's like, hey, it's almost like Rihanna has her arm candy, and that's A$AP Rocky. And his role is to be kind of like the birth giver, right? Like, he's just supposed to be there supporting her. He makes sure that she gets pregnant, even though, of course, obviously she's the one getting pregnant and having the kids. But damn, dog. Like, we cannot lie and act like if Rocky didn't break up with Rihanna, or if they were on a break, or if they faked it, right? Let's just say they faked it. We're doing some tests here. If they faked it, everybody would be talking about Rocky. They'd be like, damn, he fumbled. Yo, this next album's about to go crazy. Even if it's just rumors, they don't even actually have to break up. It would hit way crazier, and people would be anticipating what he's going to drop next way more than if he just continued being with her. They're going to be, they probably wouldn't even know that he dropped or was going to drop or anything like that. The thing is, I also like the rollouts that A$AP Rocky has, because the guy is genuinely an artist beyond rapping, beyond like executive production of his albums, beyond all of that. He is an artist. He makes sure the visuals are on point. He makes sure the rollouts are on point, which is something I'm interested to see, because we've got less than 2 months before the album drops. And I will say 2 months is enough time, but I really hope this isn't just he just drops it and we're good to go. Like, there needs to be some buildup. And the last song was, like I said, a year ago. He's been on a song maybe a month ago or so ago with Anderson .Paak and this band, I think it is. The band is the main artist, and then Anderson .Paak and A$AP Rocky are just features on it. But let me know what you guys think. Does it feel like A$AP Rocky hasn't been... Like, can you think about A$AP Rocky just himself? Like, for example, Rihanna, sure, she's had kids, and that's one of the achievements that she's had in the past couple of years. We also think about the success of Fenty Beauty. We also think about the anticipation of her album. And she also had this Forbes cover where it also felt like... Was it a Forbes cover? It was some magazine cover or some ad where it felt like A$AP Rocky was just a background guy. I'll say how it kind of feels. It feels like A$AP Rocky is kind of like Kenneth Petty, which is Nicki Minaj's husband. It's like, yeah, he rolls around. But Kenneth Petty has accomplished zero in terms of tangible things that we know about, right? Like music, a career in any other field. Rocky's actually accomplished, but that's the vibe we get. Or maybe when Meek was with Nicki Minaj, but I think when Meek was with Nicki Minaj, he was disrespected. I was about to say yay. I don't know why. A$AP Rocky, we're not saying it's wrong or looking down on him for being with Rihanna. We're looking at him like, yeah, can you go back to doing your own thing too? Like, maybe not independent of her, but I want to see him pop out with just Playboi Carti, or him being on his own with the guys, right? Like, yo, he's back with A$AP Mob and they're just moving around. It's almost like we never see Rocky without Rihanna. And sure, that's like what a couple family does, but we gotta see him moving and shaking so we can just pay attention to him, because whenever he's with her, she always is going to take up the spotlight, and it's going to be about her and then Rocky. It'll never just be about Rocky primarily. because all of these mainstream outlets care more about her than they do him, which there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Yeah, she's the more popular one. But we need him to be at the foreground of what's going to come, which is this album. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.